So, there is this fascinating and ancient system of belief called Zoroastrianism. It might not get mentioned as often as some of the more dominant religions in our world today, but its influence is far-reaching and deeply rooted in the foundation of many modern faiths and philosophies. If you're someone who enjoys diving into the layers of history, spirituality, and comparative religion, this one will intrigue you. And while you're here, take a moment to support content like this by staying connected, subscribing, and even sharing with others who might appreciate such timeless wisdom. Zoroastrianism is often referred to as one of the world's oldest monotheistic religions, believed to have originated in ancient Persia around 1500 to 1200 BCE. The faith was founded by the prophet Zoroaster, or Zarathustra, a spiritual reformer who introduced the idea of a single, supreme god named Ahura Mazda. This was revolutionary at a time when polytheism dominated. What made Zoroaster's teachings unique was his dualistic worldview, emphasizing a cosmic struggle between good and evil. According to Zoroastrian doctrine, Ahura Mazda embodies all that is good, while Angra Mainyu, or Ahriman, represents chaos, falsehood, and destruction. Human beings, in this context, are not passive observers, but active participants in this cosmic battle. The choices we make in our daily lives, truth over lies, good over evil, have spiritual implications far beyond the physical world. Now, here's where it gets even more compelling. Concepts such as heaven and hell, judgment after death, messianic saviours, and resurrection, which we commonly associate with Christianity, Islam, and even aspects of Judaism, find echoes in Zoroastrian teachings. The figure of the Saoshyant, a future savior who will lead humanity in the final renovation of the world, Frashokereti, has inspired messianic themes across Abrahamic religions. The ancient texts of Zoroastrianism, known as the Avesta, are both philosophical and poetic. They delve into ethics, ritual practices, and cosmology. The Gathas, hymns believed to be composed by Zoroaster himself, form the spiritual core of the religion, advocating for good thoughts, good words, and good deeds as guiding principles of life. Throughout history, Zoroastrianism thrived under the Achaemenid Empire, particularly during the reigns of Cyrus the Great and Darius I. Their policy of religious tolerance was deeply influenced by Zoroastrian principles. This is evident in the way they governed a multicultural empire, allowing subject peoples to worship their own gods, a stark contrast to the religious suppression seen in many other ancient empires. Later, during the Sassanian Empire, Zoroastrianism became the state religion of Persia, and fire temples were built across the region. These temples, where a sacred flame was kept burning perpetually, symbolized purity and the divine light of Ahura Mazda. Fire, in Zoroastrianism, is not worshipped but revered as a symbol of truth and righteousness. Let's not forget the Parthian Empire, during which the religion survived political shifts and cultural transformations, continuing to shape Persian identity. Despite the transitions between these empires, Zoroastrianism held strong, continuously influencing the culture, law, and art of the region. One of the lesser-known yet incredibly interesting branches of Zoroastrianism is Zorvanism. This variant posited Zorvan, or infinite time, as the parent of both Ahura Mazda and Angra Mainyu. It attempted to explain the origin of evil by attributing both forces to a singular, neutral source. Although Zorvanism didn't gain as much traction as Orthodox Zoroastrianism, it reflects the theological richness and diversity within the tradition. What makes Zoroastrianism particularly relevant today is its emphasis on individual responsibility. The idea that you, as a human being, have the power to influence the balance of good and evil through your choices is both empowering and humbling. It shifts the focus away from blind fate and towards ethical living. Zoroastrianism also holds an environmentally conscious worldview. The elements, earth, water, air, and fire, are considered pure and should not be polluted. This reverence for nature predates modern environmental movements by thousands of years and offers valuable insight into sustainable living. One of the most beautiful aspects of the faith is its ritual of caring for the dead. Instead of burial or cremation, which were seen as contaminating the earth or fire, the dead were placed in towers of silence, open-air structures where vultures would naturally decompose the body. This practice, while uncommon and perhaps unsettling to modern sensibilities, speaks to the religion's deep respect for nature and the elements. As time went on, and Islam rose to dominance in Persia after the 7th century Arab conquest, many Zoroastrians faced persecution. Some migrated to India, where they became known as the Parsis. This community continues to thrive, particularly in cities like Mumbai, preserving their ancient rituals and identity against all odds. Despite being a minority today, the Zoroastrian community remains active in promoting the values of their faith. Their temples, community centers, and educational initiatives continue to uphold the principles taught by Zoroaster over 3,000 years ago. Zoroastrian influence on other religions is not just a scholarly observation, but a lived reality. For example, the concepts of angels and demons, the struggle of good versus evil, and even the imagery of divine judgment share striking similarities with Christian eschatology and Islamic theology. Scholars argue that during the Babylonian exile, when the Jewish people came into contact with Zoroastrians, many of these ideas were exchanged and adapted. Even the philosophical notion of free will, something we often associate with Enlightenment thinking, finds its roots in Zoroastrian teachings. Zoroaster insisted that human beings have the freedom to choose their path, and that the quality of their lives, both here and in the afterlife, would depend on those choices. Religious tolerance, too, was a hallmark of Zoroastrian empires. While many other ancient rulers imposed their gods and rituals on conquered peoples, Zoroastrian kings often allowed a plurality of worship so long as loyalty to the empire was maintained. This ethic of coexistence is something deeply needed in our fragmented world today. And so, if this exploration has sparked something in you, perhaps curiosity, admiration, or even a desire to dig deeper, you might consider joining us on this journey through the rich corridors of history and spirituality. Subscribing to this channel ensures you won't miss out on future discussions like this one. Sharing it on your social platforms helps others access knowledge that might otherwise remain obscure. To wrap this up, Zoroastrianism is more than just an ancient faith. It's a legacy, a system of ethics and cosmology that has shaped civilizations, inspired revolutions in thought, and continues to whisper its wisdom into our modern lives. Whether you see it as a religion, a philosophy, or a historical marvel, there is no denying the light it brings into the conversation of who we are and how we choose to live. So stay thoughtful, stay curious, and if you found this meaningful, do pass it on to a friend. Let the flame of knowledge keep burning, just like those eternal fires in the temples of ancient Persia.